Welcome back to It Starts Now, the happy hour of finance and business. My name is Stanley. For those that's new to the channel, welcome. And for those that's been supporting us, I would like to say thank you. And please continue to share, hit the like button, hit the notification, and continue to support us. So that way we could bring you guys some amazing content and some amazing people. Speaking of amazing people, we got a special dear friend of ours that that stopped by. All right. And this person started off from a flight attendant working in the airports. From the airports became a influencer, and from an influencer started her own makeup whole brand. The brand is amazing. It's called Stirvaxbeauty. Stirvaxbeauty. I'm sorry. All right.
Exactly.
There you go. So that's the point to tell you that's the type of show we're going to have today. It's going to be amazing. And she was featured on the Spanish People.
Yeah, People en Español.
People, yeah, magazine. Yeah. And she got so much things that's going on. And we're just happy to have her here. All right, please, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. And yes, it's going to be fun because, of course, I'm here. Duh.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And there we go. Enough said. And then you guys know my wife, Nilly. She's chiming in today. And I wanted her to be on this episode specifically because we're talking about branding. We're talking about makeup. We're talking about the business as being an influencer. And she brings all that to the table and much, much more.
Because I'm the whole package, baby. Mm-hmm. I'm all of that.
You see that? Mm-hmm. Some things don't change. Some things definitely don't change. Let me tell you. So, her and I, we had two interactions that were really hilarious. One of them was I remember when we first met, and I was like, "Man, this woman is cocky as hell," and she said something, and I was like being sarcastic. I said, "Man, you got an accent and you that cocky?" And then and let me tell you, she was like on 10. And now you see why. She definitely brings a lot to the table, like a lot.
Look who is talking. Hold on. Let me just defend myself over here.
Go ahead, please.
So he used to walk on the halls of the airport like, I own this place. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like,
wow.
And then one day I said, I'm going to get you, So I'm working, being fabulous or whatever at the Sky Club. And then he comes in like he owns it. I'm like, what is you doing here? Go outside with the regular people, So he's like, oh, no, I can come in. I'm like, no, you cannot. This is for people with a membership or an American Express Platinum card. Do you have one? He's like, and he grabbed his wallet and he's like, I got my American Express Platinum. I'm like, so.
Tune changes.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome in. Have a wonderful stay. I'm like, yes, he is cocky.
Oh, my God. All right, so let's dive in. I want to know, how did you make that transition? How did you go from working at the airport to becoming this big influencer in the marketing game?
Well, I'm not going to say by mistake, but it wasn't something that I was actually looking for. It just came to me like that. I used to work my behind off at the airport. And the downside of it, because I used to love my job. Like, I loved every day, even when it was like hectic. But it wasn't compensating the time that I didn't have my kids with me. Mm-hmm. Because for the most part, I was too tired when I got home to play with the kids and all that. And I'm like, the money is not enough for the time that I don't have with my kids. And then it got worse when I was a flight attendant, that sometimes I only had 2 days off, but let's say flights got canceled or whatever, then now I only have 1 day off, and that day is just enough for me to go home, do laundry, and then pack my bags and go again. So at what time do you enjoy your kids? And there was one time the last month that I was working, I had my kids sleep at 5 different houses because I didn't have like one person. I'm a single parent, and I didn't have one person to take care of them at one place. So I rely on one this weekend, and then okay, I can't do it next weekend, so I had to go in another house. And my son said, "Oh, so this is you have me here for this? No, I'm better off in Dominican Republic with my grandma." And that kind of broke me. I'm like, okay, so my son doesn't want to be with me because anyways, he's not with me. He's with somebody else. So I said, I have to take a choice. It's either see my kids grow up, or stay at a job that I love, but not be with my kids. So I said, you know what? If it doesn't go my way, then I can come back. And I left and decided, I'm like, okay, God. I had that conversation. I said, okay, you can't leave me now because I ain't got a job. So I rely on you. Don't be crazy now. So I started working with my friends because like my sister, she was always in social media. She was like the big one on social media. And I saw her working and making in a weekend what I made in 2 months.
Wow.
And I'm like, so you're enjoying, I mean, you're working, but you're making that in a weekend? Hell no, I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to follow my guts. I'm going to leave my job and follow whoever steps is near me that is making the money. So after that, I remember I was celebrating my birthday at a club with my friends, and they're like, oh, so it was on a Monday. And they're like, oh, so next Monday you're coming and you're going to be the hookah girl. I'm like, what do you mean hookah girl? Like, I don't know how to do any of that. They're like, oh, you will learn. Next Monday you're working here. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm here. I was terrible the first few weeks. Like, I would bring the hookah with no water. The hookah girl. Yes. So, and they'll be like, oh, evaporated. I'm gonna come back with the water, okay? Or I made a whole lot of mistakes, but I kind of supported myself all those Mondays, and I started enjoying it. And then I started doing stuff with my hair. That was not giving me enough money, but I was doing my makeup, and then people liked the way I did my makeup. And they started asking me for more and more, do more tutorials. And I'm like, tutorials? What you talking about? Like, I can do my makeup and post a picture, be like, okay, here it is. This is the list of what I use. They're like, no. Do it on video so we can watch. I'm like, okay. So I started, and at first I didn't like it. And I started getting comfortable until they started saying, okay, this is what we want from you. And at first, like, when you don't start, you are scared because you're saying, like, oh, what am I going to say?
Right.
But once you start talking and interacting with people, they tell you what they want.
True.
And one thing goes to the other, and here I am.
So that was the start of the new Teresa.
Yes.
Yes. The old Teresa came out of her shell and then started this whole trending thing.
Oh my God, I am surprised. I thought I was like this very normal, humble person. Like, and then now it's like many people telling me like, oh, you're cocky, or you don't remember. You don't remember who you were. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was talking to this guy from the ramp. They're like, everybody knew you, but they were scared to talk to you. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? Oh no, because you were like this person. I'm like, why? But I kind of understand a little bit why people see me that way. It's because I never like to mix my job with my personal life.
Gotcha.
So it's when I started going out with people from my job was when I was in the club, that we did stuff like a farewell party, stuff like that. Then I would go. But if it was like the Christmas party, I never went. When I started going like the last year that I was there, and I was there for 5 years. or like bowling or whatever, like you would never see me there, or you would never see me hanging around with all the guys or the people. Like clock out by, I don't know, y'all. Yes.
I think I think when you first started, like you said, you first started with the hair, right? Mm-hmm. And for those of you that don't know her, or if you actually follow her on her IG, she has really curly hair. Well, mind you, she's Dominican, so you already know the type of hair texture she has. And it's volume and it's spaghetti curls. So when you first started watching her on IG, you see her working through her hair. And for a lot of people, that's very important because you want to understand, like, okay, texture, which I think is key for any hairstyle, right? Mm-hmm. And then how to actually detangle or what products you can use. And I don't think it always has to be like something like $200, $300 worth, right? Value can, I mean, it's up unless you tell me otherwise.
Well, the thing is that I have a little problem. When I know something or I learn something new, I want to have it all.
Okay.
So I'm a hoarder, you know? So if you say, oh, this oil is good for hair growth, I'm like, I'm sold, have my money. And then the person next to you says, oh, I have spaghetti oil. And that it's proven that it's for hair growth. I'm like, what? Let me have 3. So I bought, you name it, I had all the oils, all of that. But when I started, this is how I started the whole thing. Okay. Because my main page was Stirvax. That's who I was. But that it was more my personal life at the airport, me being cute or whatever at work. And then I said, let me not film my Instagram with hair stuff, because that page I created it for me.
Got it.
Not for it to grow as it did. So I wanted to post stuff for like hair growth, styles and all of that. And because I wanted to do the transition, because I used to blow dry my hair, have it all the time straight. And I said, I've never had my hair curly. You know what? Let me just see how my natural hair really is. And I wanted to have that journey, document that journey on Instagram. And people started asking me, because I didn't know that was a thing when I started, and that people didn't know how to take care of their hair.
Right. Yeah.
So I had to learn so I could teach them. And that's how it started. I had to learn about products, ingredients, and all that. And I'm like, okay, so this is actually a thing. And then it became a lot worse. And I did it not because of my hair per se, but the bullying that women receive when they decide not to follow the norm. Because for you to be beautiful, you have to be a certain way. And I said, no, because if I'm going to the club, it's to enjoy myself, not to show you that I could be beautiful or whatever, or to please your eyes. Correct. So I'm going to enjoy. And if I want to go in a bun, you have to take it. And I'm not going to be any less beautiful because I'm in a bun. But it comes out that a lot of women had that insecurity of going out like, oh, I can't have my hair looking like that. I'm gonna be looking ugly. I'm like, why? So you feel that way? Because I don't feel that way. I can care less if my hair is curly, straight, whatever. I'm still beautiful, period. Right. And then I started seeing that on a daily basis. Like I would go out, and I always had my like 2 braids while I was transitioning from my damaged hair in the end that would not curl for. Oh God, it would not curl. But my roots were like very curly. Yeah. So that way I used to do like many hairstyles or whatever. And people were like, oh, you should just, have hair extensions. I'm like, no. Or I would like, they're like, oh, we're going out. I'm like, okay. And then when they will pick me up, be like, you know where we're going? I'm like, I'm ready. Like, do I look like I'm missing something? The hair, I'm like, what's wrong with the hair? And then I'll look myself, I'm like, I'm cute or whatever, like, what you talking about? So it's like they're so ready, and then you go out to the club and you're invisible.
Yeah.
Especially for the single woman, You're like, okay, I'm gonna kill it today, but you ain't killing it. You better have that personality on check. Because they're so used to women have normalized this whole hair. That's why the hair business is a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
Because they feed off I'm not gonna say insecurities, because it's just the normal now that for you to be beautiful, look cute, you have to have your hair a certain length, a certain way. Other than that, if you like chop it all off, it's like, are you okay? Like and I nobody can tell me anything because I lived it. Like I went through it. And on my page, I had to deal with that bullying every day. And it was easy for me to just go back. And I said, hell nah. I'm going to teach people that it doesn't matter how your hair looks. It's what you have to offer. At the end of the day, I can care less. I can like shave my hair off and that's it. I'm still me. Like now I'm going to talk a different language or something. No. So once I went that way and I kind of spread the word of loving yourself just like you are, that you don't need extra stuff, people started following me more because it was more than hair. My page was more than hair.
It was aspirational. It was like inspiring,
Message,
right?
yeah.
It had a message. It was not only for you to look a certain way, it's for you to know that you don't need anything. Like if you just want to have your hair the way God gave it to you, it's fine.
Right.
Nobody has to tell you that you look a certain way, you beautiful or not. That's how it all started on my page with the Stirvax curls and how I grew, basically. And in the mix of that, I found out that me being Aries, I hate just being in a box. I hate labels like, oh, you do hair. Baby girl, let me tell you, grab a pen and paper. Because I can do a whole lot of stuff, okay? I can do a whole lot of stuff. I can do makeup. I can do hair. I can talk about family, traveling. I can talk about tech, editing. You name it, I got it.
Yeah.
So that's what I teach on my page.
Yeah, and your page like grew. I remember one day I was looking at, you had like 5,000 followers, and then it looked like a week later you was at 70,000 followers. What happened? But you know what I like about it, you stay consistent, right? And in everything that I seen on the page is like unique. And is unique to your style, because when I look at it, it matches your personality. There was one Nelly showed me the other night. I don't know if it was like a Thriller thing. You had a Michael Jackson in the background with the makeup and all that. And I say, wow, it matches your personality, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I guess that's what it draws people to watching you and watching what you gotta provide. Which is awesome, by the way. I do like the stuff I saw, and I was like, "Wow, this is great." I didn't even know you had. I didn't even know you had another page.
Yeah,
I stumbled on that, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Because I was always on the
I'm like,
original.
oh, you don't follow me on this. All right.
I stumbled on it, and I was like, "Wow, you're doing it crazy." So you got two pages that's like amazing.
Yes. I always say that I'm gonna keep on posting stuff on the regular one, the Stirvax one, and keep the Stirvax beauty now professional. But me being me, is kind of like I just wake up and I'm like, oh, I saw something on TV. I just don't be paying attention to that, which I should. But eventually, oh God, I'm gonna pray a lot that God gives me that organizing mind, Yes. So now, like eventually, when I start doing all the projects that I have now, then yes, because when you try to work with certain brands, they kind of ask you to have a clean page of certain things. Let's say if you're doing makeup. There are certain brands that require your page to have at least 80% of your posts to be makeup related only. So that's why there are certain pages or brands that are very picky with who they work with, and the quality of your content. Like if your content is not looking, that's why a lot of influencers, you see that they follow a color block, like the same color,
Yes.
The pattern and
the
themes.
pattern,
Yeah.
the theme or whatever, and you see them working with big brands, because brands like their products to look cute as well. So if you don't have that that pattern like that, you have to have a great engagement
Okay.
where they don't care as much as how the product looks. They care on that side on how much it's gonna sell, because you have a good engagement with people and they know they're gonna sell it. Now in their contract, for the most part, it's very long. Like I've worked with different companies or whatever, and there was this one contract. It was like 12 pages, and I'm like, just where do I sign in? And let me know what exactly I have to like.
The
like
gist of it, yeah.
Yes, like what? Because they tell you no, don't say this or do say that.
Oh, really?
Da da da. And I'm like, oh, let me just read this, save all the rest, because I ain't reading none of that. Okay. But there are other brands that like, okay, you want to work with me? Okay, this is my product. Sell it. Oh, you don't care? Sell it. I'm like, okay. Oh my God. So this coffee, okay? This coffee, y'all. But it all depends. But they know who they're working with. For the most part, big brands don't like that. They just want you to follow a certain
Like a guideline.
Yeah.
that they have. And there are other ones that they enjoy you being creative
Right.
to
right.
sell their product.
To sell their product. Now, question: do they reach out to you, or sometimes you reach out to them? How does that work?
For me, 90 to 95% of the time they reach out to me. The other 5, sometimes you want to work with someone and they haven't seen your work, then you just tell them, hey, I want to work with you. That hasn't really worked like that with me, because people they can see me on the Explorer or whatever, and they know, or this brands, they have the I don't know what program they use that they can see, like, oh, I want an influencer with X amount of engagement, da da da, and then you come up, and then they send you an email like, oh, we want to work with you. That's why I worked with I've worked with Amazon, I've worked with Telemundo, and all that, because they reach out to me. Because there were brands that I had no idea I can actually work with, and I would never think of just like, oh, let me hit Telemundo, let's per se,
Right.
to work with them. Like, what am I going to do? But then they tell you and they ask you what they want from you.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so I can do this. And that's how it usually works. But like, they have that program that they can see how many people you get to. And because let me tell you, there are people that have, I don't know if you've seen on Instagram, there are people that have like 2 million followers. And they go live and they have like 50 people watching them.
Yeah. No engagement.
No engagement at all.
And a friend of mine's told me that a lot of those followers sometimes are not legit followers, and then you got to be verified. There's a lot that we're learning in the process, because Instagram for us is not something that we use all the time, right? But we're definitely starting to get more involved into it. But then we're learning that there's a lot of ways to really make money, and you don't have to have a lot of following.
You don't, because actually now brands are working with nano influencers. Those are small, the people that are coming up with maybe like 5,000, 10,000 followers, because they appreciate the product. They're gonna really be excited about the product, because they don't get this as much as, let's say, someone that has 1 million followers that had all this different PR packages that maybe they're gonna say, okay, I received this from da 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 da, maybe me as a consumer, I'm gonna see that you got that, but you're not selling it to me. So now that same brand sends it to someone with 10,000 followers that never receives anything. That 10,000 followers, like that person's gonna use it.
Yeah.
Because it's saving the money from buying stuff like that, and it's gonna really try the product and say, okay, this really worked for me, I love it, and it's gonna talk 100% on the product.
Right.
And that's their focus now. So they're investing more on nano influencers that really say what they feel about the product out there. And it's more effective than you just giving all this money to someone with 1 million, 2 million followers that maybe doesn't sell anything.
Right. Or they even talk about it. Or they might just say one or two words and that's it.
Or just take a picture with it. Oh, this is a perfect iPhone. Cute. Takes cute pictures. Buy it.
Yeah.
She's done that before. I see it.
Don't judge me.
I see it now.
Now let's talk monetization. How much can an influencer make?
Depends. You have good days. And then you have bad days. But yes, you can. It depends on the type of time and effort that you're trying to put into what you do. And then when you have that engagement,
right,
and you know the influence, because there are people that are just popular, but they don't, but they're not influencers. So once brands know that you are an influencer, and once you realize that you are one too, you're like, okay, so I do not receive this for free, because you see, as much as I want on my check to pay my rent, I can say, okay, do you want to have this kid? Yes. So I know I'm gonna make you money because I know the type of following that I have. They're legit. These are my prices, and like for me, I do not promote anything that I do not use.
right.
So if someone sends me something, I always tell them like, oh, give me at least 2 weeks for me to try the product. And then I can say, if I don't like it, I'm just gonna tell you, like, it didn't, I don't like it, I can't promote this. I can say, oh, just buy this even though you're paying me.
Right.
Let's say, like, I have never worked with people that have lashes, because now everybody got like a lash company.
Yeah.
So it's like, I cannot, and I tell them, because I'm very honest, I'm like, I can take your money and be like, okay, these are my prices, but I'm not, I can't guarantee you that you're gonna make sales, because I always tell my people, okay, my lashes are $3. So how now I'm gonna say that the same lashes, you have to buy it from such and such, that is $25. So my word is like, no. Right. I don't like that. So I'm like, okay, no, if you come up with another product, maybe we can talk. But lashes, like, even people that don't know how to do their makeup have a lash company. Yeah. It's like, so when it comes to money, like, you're like, okay, we can work. These are my prices. And the more sponsors you have, or the more people you have, then the more money you make. But the influencers are making good money. That's why people before, I used to see people doing dumb shit.
Right.
Sorry, like, can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you see people doing crazy stuff in the street, you're like, why are people doing that? They're not dumb. We are the dumb people, because you go and watch that.
Right.
Garbage.
You're watching it.
You watch it, and then you do exactly what they want. You share it, and you say, look how dumb he is. And then that other person say, yes, he's really dumb. Go watch it. And then that video goes viral.
Right.
And who's really the dumb one here? Because that video is making this person famous and coins because of the views.
Right.
So us that share that are the dumb one, because they will stop once you stop sharing that kind of stuff, because it's garbage.
Right.
But then it's like, they're actually not dumb. They very smart. They're playing dumb to get their coins,
Right.
which I don't blame them. I don't.
I don't blame him at all. Now, you touched on something, right, when it comes to pricing. Like, I know that your prices probably went up, right? Or how do you gauge when to go up with your First of all, how do you set prices?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
And then how do you know when you up the price?
Well, at the beginning, I had very hard time setting my prices. And at first, I didn't really want to work with brands because I had no idea how to do it. But I had my mentor, which is my sister, and she's worked with people before. So I kind of went with her prices and I cut it in half. I'm like, okay, I don't have not even half of you people, but I got the influence, honey. Watch me. So, so I got her prices, cut it in half. And I said, okay, but that is very expensive. Oh, okay, so if you can, just call me when you can. And then they're like, okay, no, it's fine. I'm like, okay, baby, let me have it. Now this coffee, baby girl. So the coffee, so that's how it goes.
Right.
And like I'm saying, at the beginning, you just don't know at first, but you start tempting. Like, let's say, before I used to work with posts on my feed, and now with the whole stories, it's not, how can I say it? I like more to work on stories than on my posts, because if I'm working with brands, they don't want to see all that publicity on my feed.
Right.
And the stories actually are better for the brands because more people see it. Let's say I make put a post and gets 5,000 likes. It is not as many compared to the 40,000 views on my stories. So it's like more people are gonna see it. I'm gonna talk more naturally, and I actually use, like, when I promote something, I use it and I show it to them. Like now I use some detox or whatever, and I make people see it. Like, oh, I'm starting today. I'm gonna show it in a week what it does, and then I show it. Okay, so here. And people see that I'm not like trying to just sell something. Like, I use it, and it works for me. Instead of sending you to buy something else, this is what I'm using. It's working on me. You can clearly see because it's a video that I'm making. I'm not manipulating the picture, like a lot of people do. But anywho, that's a whole other subject. That's a whole other subject.
Some things don't change.
But they see it, and that's how you actually get, with the people. But the stories are where the key is, and you're like, okay, so 40,000 people saw my story, and out of those 40,000, look at my numbers. You have to see your numbers, and you're like, okay, so these are my numbers, and this is my price based on that. You can never sell yourself short. Never. And I learned that the hard way. I used to be that. I used to be like, oh, I'm starting. Let's say on the makeup. Like, I would do somebody's makeup for cheaper because I thought, oh, I don't have a place where I do my makeup. Or I'm just starting compared to such and such. They already has a name, a logo, and all of that. I don't have that. But my makeup looked a lot better than that other person, and then people would rather have their makeup be done by me than that other person. But in your mind, your mind can play with you sometimes and be like, oh no, but you don't have this, you don't have that. And then I said, hold on, I don't have that, but at the end of the day, they walk out the door looking, bomb. So yes, I'm not selling it. Let me up my prices. So Smart. Because at the end of the day, you're just it's not necessarily the makeup, it's you. They go to see you. I've had people taking my makeup classes when I did it in my house, in my living room, and they're like, oh, I just came to see you. I don't do my makeup or nothing. I'm like, so you just came to give me that money? Yeah, my husband paid for me. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna have another one. I'm having another one next month. So tune in, okay?
Tune in.
So she was just there. For me, that was a lot. That she went to my house just because she wanted to share time with me. Because she was very honest. She's like, I don't do my makeup. I'm not interested in doing my makeup. But I'm just here, you know. She was drinking wine, smoking some hookah. I'm like, girl, I love you from now. You know, you my bestie now.
So she's paying you to hang out.
Hang out,
Basically. So,
Wow.
yes, that's the power of you created that bond with the people that follow you. For me, I know I met so many amazing people from Instagram that has helped me more than maybe some of my family members that I have here with me. Like, I met this girl. She went to one of my classes, and one day she said, oh, if you need to go out or whatever, I can take care of your kids. And I'm like, of course. And then in my mind, I'm like, you crazy? I'm not going to leave my kids with somebody I just met. But I'm like, sure. I'll call you. I'm like, I'll call you. And then she kept on going to my friend's concert and where we were at, and I used to see her. I'm like, okay, hi, how you doing? Oh, yes. She's like, I'm telling you, if you want to go out, you just gotta let me know. I'm like, yeah, but you know, I got my family, whatever. Shit, I gotta pay a lot to my family. Anyway, so I'm like, one day I'm doing a live and doing my makeup, and a friend of mine, he's like, oh, you should come here to drink with me. I'm like, man, I got nobody to take care of my kids. And she was like, I can go. She was on the live. She's like, I can go to your house. Do you want me to get ready? And everybody was like, yes, have her go. Go to the... I'm like, I'm not going now. She's like, girl, you know I can go. I'm like, say no more. I'm getting ready. So I'm like, God, make her be good. Okay, be good. I'm out. I'm like, I'm out. And then I left, and now she's like family.
Right.
You know, and then you meet so many people that always support you. And then they're the ones that actually pushed me to be this Teresa.
Right.
Because sometimes I sold myself short. Like, no, I can't do that. They're like, yes, you can. Or do something and we're going to support you. That I'm like, what? Me? You have so many other people. Like, I mean, we want you. And I'm like, what? So that bond that I have with people, I know people from their name that I have never seen before. And then sometimes I'm live, I'm like, where is Anna? Where is Elizabeth? Where is Arisleda? Like, those are names that usually are. They're always the first one there.
Right.
And I'm like, it's not a real live if they're not there. They're always there.
Because they part of the team now.
Yeah. They're the team, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you create that with them and they push you. So, and you can only have that once you start having that relationship, like organic relationship with them, you know, and then someone knows someone that knows someone, and then they talk about you.
Yeah.
And they like, there's this girl that follow me, and she's like, oh, I used to be on makeup for magazines or whatever, and I'm not doing that anymore. I have a whole bunch of stuff here that I'm not using. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go pick her up. Boy, when I'm telling you, she gave me a airbrush machine with paints, with brushes from Chanel. I mean, one of those brushes like that I would never buy it because girl, it's expensive. But she gave me so many things that I'm like, there is big money in this box, like a lot of money. Just the machine itself, it's a lot. And she's like, I would never give it to somebody else but you because I really like you. And I'm telling you, I never seen that person before. And she did that to me, and I was very grateful. So, and that brings me back to when I started and I was watching videos that people would say, just start with whatever you have and the universe is gonna give you
Absolutely.
more.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, why they're saying the universe? If I don't have a microphone, it's gonna come from the sky. No, I'm gonna have to go buy it. And then as the time went by, I realized what they were trying to tell me. And that stuck on my head. Now I always, every time I have the time to say it, like I say it. It is true. Once you start and you are consistent, that's something that you have in your heart that you want to do, the universe is going to give you everything you need.
Absolutely. 100%.
So
Yeah.
is it like believing in yourself? I think that's like the best way of putting
Yeah.
it, right?
And trust in the process.
Trust the process. You cannot skip anything, because in the process you know what works and what doesn't work for you. You know how to not, like I say, if you go from here to boom all the way over here, you don't know how to deal with that. How can I say? With your brand, who really wants to take advantage of you.
Who's there for you, like loyalty.
That loyalty,
Yeah.
because a lot of people want to use you to their advantage, like, oh, you're my friend, da 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 da, and that friend has lashes, right? Oh, here's has some lashes, but they only want you, or they really want to be friends with you because they believe in your potential, that you're gonna grow, and it's better off that you start using my products from now. And then, you know, and then once you start, okay, I'm gonna start monetizing my work because this is my job now. Now your so-called friend is like, no, but mine has to be free, da 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 da. And it's not a bad thing, but they also have, as your friends, they have to understand your hustle as well. Yeah. Let's say we are a team, the Team Proda, and it's me, my sister Orky, Jonathan, Oscar. They have a duo where they sing. Leo. It's like 10 of us, but each one has their own thing.
Right.
It's not like a group of people that just one is famous, no, or one does one thing. Oh, there's not like one cool person. Like we all have our own cool thing. And when I did my first editing class, they paid for my class. I'm like, how you guys gonna pay? They're like, no, we're supporting. Like, we are a team. I would never charge them. But that was, to me, one of my biggest things. Like, I cried a little bit. Okay. But, you know, it was a lot to me. Like, no, I'm going to take the class, but I have to support you. Because I'm your friend, but I know that's what you're doing. So I'm like, my friends are doing it. You know? So that's, like, I would never tell one of my friends that I see them like growing, like, oh, give me a discount, or can I have that for free? No. Now, if they want to give it to me, fine.
Right.
Okay. But let me support you.
Let me support you.
Yeah.
Let me support you because
100%.
I understand.
Yeah.
And if I have my platform, I will also use it, because that's the one thing I love about my circle is we want to see each other grow.
Yeah.
It's like all the time. Like, I never put a project at the same time that any of my other team is doing something.
Yeah.
No. Even though each one has their own thing, I'm not gonna cut your hustle. Not that it happens, because everyone it's kind of on different things.
Yeah, they got different paths.
But if I'm gonna promote something, if I'm gonna have something on my page, it's gonna be either my thing that nobody has something around my time, or it's gonna be one of the things that my friends are doing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's how it has to be. Like, your circle has to be happy and support what you do. My friends, when we sit down and we talk, they only think that we go out and drink and smoke hookah. That's not what we do. We go out and we sit down and talk about projects. We talk about when we fly and we go on vacation. It's not vacation. We're working. People don't see it as work, but create content in different places in the world. That's work. Sometimes I'm just with a hangover. I'm like, I'm gonna stay tonight. They're like, you're not staying. We have to take picture, make this video. okay, let me know. I'm like, okay, picture. Let me go back to be on my hangover.
You know what you said is true. There's a point I think you have to say, all right, this is no longer, if this is your dream and this is your project, there's no longer vacation. There's no longer these times off. It's really about work until you get to that point where you need to get to. And I think that with you and your team, I think your whole community is strong. Amazing. Yeah, because not only your team, but the people that support and outside of that circle, that community sounds like to me is really a positive and strong community. So you got some great supporters out there.
The best, honey.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be something. They could be just a little extra, just a tiny bit. Let me just share this little story. So I have been single forever since I can remember, you know. So they always trying to hook me up with somebody. Mm-hmm. They tired of seeing me by myself. So one day I'm at a club and my sister presents me with this guy or whatever. I don't know. I just say hi to the guy. Uh-huh. And here comes this girl from the back. She's like, we don't want that for you. I love it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what's your name again? And I'm like, that person, you know what he does? He got a wife too. And I'm like, okay, thank you for I just met him. Okay, fine. So I keep on my day, you know, whatever. And then I meet this other guy that we're dancing. When I finish dancing, I don't want him for you either. I'm like this. I have no idea. I just saw her at the club. She's like, you know, we want the best for Jaji. Jaji is a whole long story. I'm going to tell you later. Mm-hmm. But we want the best for Jaji, and that's not it. We want someone fabulous, and that's not him. I don't want you talking to him no more. I'm like, I love this. So sometimes stuff like this happen. Uh-huh. It has its downsides, but for the most part, they're really nice.
No, that's
good.
They're
looking out for you.
That's right.
Saving you that extra.
And I can't even, I'm telling you, it's like I can't talk to someone because there's always someone watching you. You just don't know who's watching you, who knows you.
Right.
So I have to be very careful. You know, let's say I meet someone and this person sells himself as single. Mm-hmm. I have no idea if that person is 100%. Actually married with 3 kids or whatever. Right. And then I go out with this person, and here I am on one of those gossip pages, like she's with this guy that has his wife or whatever. How the hell am I supposed to know? Yeah. You know, so sometimes you get in this type of trouble. That's why I don't be dating, because I'm so scared of stuff like that happening to me. Mm-hmm. And so it has this thing where sometimes you just want to be invisible and be like regular. Like I'm here drinking a beer and minding my business. I don't want people to, because she's here, she has to act this way, do this stuff.
Well, what is regular? Is it what is the difference between Teresa, the influencer, and Teresa?
There's not a lot of difference. I'm always the same, but sometimes you just want to enjoy like how you used to be before, not having eyes on you. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Mm-hmm. That you can get drunk and fall, and people just laugh at that moment, and that's it. Yeah. And not have like, Teresa fell because she was drunk, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want that, or you want to like the freedom of talking to just whatever without having to worry about per se. I was at this party and there was this guy flirting with me. I had no idea, but I'm making my videos or whatever. He was there. Mind you, his wife is one of my followers. And she's like, so he was very cozy with you. I'm like, excuse me, what? And she's like, that's my husband. I'm like, okay, your husband's cute, but I didn't say anything, you know, I didn't do anything weird. She's like, no, I know, he could be like that sometimes. I'm like, moving on, you know. So it happens, stuff like that. Like I get into uncomfortable situations sometimes, and that's the downside of it that I don't like. Other than that, it's fabulous. Like you get to a place and they're like, you here at such and such, pass by this restaurant, I'm here, I'm gonna give you for free. I'm like, I like free. I'll be there.
So let me ask you two questions. So, as an influencer, do you promote where you have to be beforehand? Like if you're going to a club, do you make that announcement like on your video before?
No. Well, it depends.
Like, how does that work?
It depends on a lot of things. Like let's say for the most part, I don't go to a club just to go. If there's like a party, like a certain such and such is gonna be there, and then I'm like, okay, yes, I'm gonna be at that place or whatever. But other than that, it's not that I don't say it, which I should for security or whatever purposes.
Yeah.
You know, safety purposes, because I've had that issue once, but it was when I wasn't even famous. I posted on my Facebook that I was at a place and he showed up at that place. Mind you, he can't speak the language. I'm at a very Dominican place. He lives in Brooklyn. That's all the way in Washington Heights. And I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I was just in town at my homeboy. I'm like, you bullshitting. Like, no. But for the most part, it's either I go to the same places where either my friends work or another friend owns the place, and I say, okay, I'm gonna be there. Yeah. So yes, it's I really don't mind saying. Now, when I do it, it's when I go to restaurants with my team. Like we used to, when everything was open, we used to have like every Wednesday, we would go to a new place to try to take pictures and try new food and all that, which was very cool thing that we had. Every week, one had to pick the place and pick the color. When I mean the color is everybody had to go with that color.
Oh.
Yes.
As an outfit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, but that was cool. Let's say last time we did that, it was like we went to a vegan place and it was yellow. It doesn't mean that you have to be all yellow. Something yellow.
So it's like a theme.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had my yellow wig and
I love it.
so I went very simple with my yellow.
That's simple, right?
Yes. And I mean, the pictures were like cute. And every time it was a different place. Okay, so now we got themes for everything. Oh, so now we're gonna take a picture with Jordans. We are not that type of people to wear that kind of shoes, but now we kind of like it. So everybody got one, and like, okay, so when are we going out to take this picture now? You know, so when we go to the restaurant, we actually say when we're there and when we leave, because of the whole stories situation. Now, the post is different. The post, you can do it like later. But the stories, people always want to know where you at and what you're doing at the time that you're doing it.
Okay.
You know? And it's kind of like natural now that you do it. You don't think about, oh, maybe what if someone comes here? You just don't care. Be like, okay, I'm eating this. Let me post it. And sometimes that plays on your part, because if you tag the place, a lot of businesses are very on top of social media.
Right.
And if they know you have a big following and all that, they're like, okay, such and such is here. Let me give you a discount. Da 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 da. They do that. It happened to me on Facebook. They sent me a coupon on Facebook as a message. I'm like,
Thank you. So would you say, okay, so I'm curious, because like as an influencer, right? So like you're an influencer. Would you say that it helps to have a group of other influencers like team up, or would you say a person, like let's say if it's someone new, one individual can acquire that kind of fame or attention or time, or does it benefit you by having a group of people?
It's always better that your circle is big as well. Only because then if you're the bigger one, the ones that are gonna benefit from you are your friends.
Correct.
Now, if you have friends that are big as well, or if you do collabs with other people, then their followers are going to see your thing. And then they're going to follow you and such and such. So it's always good to have collabs. Like I met many people with thousands of followers as well that we are Instagram friends. And we talk a lot. And maybe we've never seen each other, but we've done like Instagram Live. So they see me, I see them. And it's always good to do these collabs with people with a lot of followers so that people can get to know who you are and that you actually exist. Because if you do it on your own with no collabs or whatever, it's going to take you a while. It's going to take you a while rather than you maybe have one famous friend or whatever. Be like, okay, can we talk or whatnot? And then boom, you grow because they get to see your work. And if they like it, it's an instant subscriber.
That's good. That's good information right there.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
And so your core team that you said, right, your friends, and except for your sister, but have you met them through Facebook, IG, or was it something that you guys were friends from before and it just so happened that you guys all became influencers around the same time, or they were there before you?
Well, this is how it goes. Jonathan and Oscar, they've been singing forever. They've been like, they are personalities, so socialite from the Washington Heights in that area. Everybody knows them. So, but they weren't as big as, let's say, number wise on Instagram as my sister.
Yeah.
So my sister met Oscar first, and they were friends or whatever, and then Oscar and Jonathan were besties. Jonathan had like a radio show, like a podcast or whatever, and they were looking for a female voice. And Oscar said, "Oh, I have your person," which is Orkis. And then boom, the three of them met.
Yeah.
Right.
And then my sister had this Mujer Completa, which is like it's like a course. It's something, the master class. I don't know, a whole bunch of things together where she encourages women to be more than just the regular woman at the house to clean or whatever. And that's where I met Jonathan. And one day we went out, but my job kept me from having the social life that they had. So they were more social on the Instagram and all that than I was. I mean, I was doing it, but on the plane, like talking about the passengers that were on my nerves. A lot of people follow me because of that. Because I'll be like, look at that. How can she? And I'm like, I was zooming. I'm like, how can she walk with that body shaper? She can't even move. Like I would do stuff like that without having that nightlife situation. And then we became kind of like, we started going out together more. And then I left my job, and then I was part of the team. And that's how it kind of started.
Okay.
And we went from there.
You know, I think you the right person for personality type of stuff. So I have a question, right? You said something earlier. You go out with your wigs. Do you promote wigs too?
No,
Okay.
no. I like them, and every one of them have a name and a personality. Okay, so the first one that I
Told you she was crazy.
So I have this pink one. Her name is Unicornia, like unicorn, but female. Unicornia. So she is very sassy. She is very how can I say, sexy, Marilyn Monroe type of, like, hi, Mr. President type situation.
Yeah.
You know, that's
like
her.
earlier when you were on the mic, trying to get measure the volume, and she's like, yeah. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so that's her. And I had this one that I created, this I mean, it just happened on a live. I just wanted a picture, like with a whole bunch of tattoos and everything. So I bought these stickers and I filled my neck and everything with tattoos and put my wig is like a curly wig here in the back. And my friend is like, you know what? I'm going to name her Marfra. And then Marfra is like a girl woman from that has always been fighting, was in drugs, but now she used to be a madame selling. So every single wig has this personality. I love one that is the toxic one, is the green one, where I like when I do my makeup. I like to play a lot with it.
Yeah.
So I do my makeup and I be live, and then I start on this like if I was on some sort of soap opera or whatever. So I'm like, oh, so let me call my man because I just spoke to him like 36 seconds ago and he hasn't called me back. And then I start like with a script, but that comes off my head. I don't know how. But you know, I get into this character and it's very hard for me to get out of. Like when I did, was it Beetlejuice? I think it was Beetlejuice. No, the Joker. Oh my God, I was crazy for a minute. Like I actually had to wipe up my face so I could come back to me because I was just talking like I was the Joker, like legit. I was crazy on that time. But I like it, you know. It kind of gives me the opportunity to be somebody else.
Be different.
And that's the crazy thing. I go out and I adopt that personality with me when I go out.
Depending on which wig you're wearing.
Which wig you're wearing?
Yep.
So that night you are that person.
That night I'm that person. And people love unicornia. Like the pink one. They're like, you should go out with
I think
unicornia.
that was the one I stumbled on the on your page. It was a pink one and...
She has multiple.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you had that Marilyn Monroe type of vibe that was going on.
So that is Marfra.
That's the new. That's the latest.
That's the latest with the tattoos, and then the.
You gotta show me that. Send me that so I could post it up.
Yes,
so they know what we talking about.
Yeah, so I love my wigs. I have to have like 30 different wigs, but it's nothing that I work like I promote. It's something that I have for my different looks. So when I want to do like a transformation or whatever, if I want to become the Grinch, I have to make sure I have a green wig there. So that's why I buy different color wigs. So whenever I decide to be something or somebody, I have the perfect wig for that.
That's cool. That's dope, man. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I guess you get to play around with different characters. It's no different from if you're in a movie and you're just playing a different character.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yet your fan, I don't want to use the word fan base, but your people that support you, they get to see.
Oh, they love it.
In. Yeah, they get to join in.
They love it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, okay, let me just talk a little bit because I'm bored. They're like, no, you're gonna do your makeup. You know? I'm like, no, I'm just gonna have some coffee. Yes, you can have coffee while doing your makeup. And I'm like, okay, because I love it too. So I be doing my makeup while like this. When you call me, that you said,
loved it. I said you're so glowy. Like,
yeah, no, when you called me before that, I said 10 minutes. Actually, I haven't even popped my lashes. I'm like, I was live. I'm like, I'm live. But you had no idea that I was live.
I was running errands. Teresa.
No, I was live because people like it. Because sometimes I do my makeup. They're like, how come you did your makeup and you didn't do it live? Like, who do you think you are? Like, you believe now?
Wait. I'm sorry. So as you were talking to her, you were live doing the makeup?
I was live doing the makeup and she called me or she sent me a text. That's why you couldn't hear anything because I was connected to my speaker. Yeah. So you called me. I answered, but I told people, hold on.
I see.
Yes, but I was actually
Money don't
live.
stop, man. Money don't stop.
Yes.
So how, in terms of makeup, right? Curious. So if it's like an everyday thing, right? Let's say, are you doing your makeup every single day on IG?
Not every single day. Sometimes you don't have the energy.
Yeah.
But I could.
So like when they're asking, like how do you come up with your creations? Like
sometimes you have an idea. Sometimes you just sit there and ask them what they want. Like the latest
feedback.
the latest one that I did with like an orangey vibe, I asked them like, okay, I'm thinking I haven't done an orange in a minute, or do you guys want like a blue and greenish? And then they decide, and I'm like, oh, maybe a cut crease or this. They're like, no, this. So I go with what they want, and at the end, it's like, this is what you want. Sometimes I do have like, okay, this is the inspiration, but for the most part, like I recreate a look, but I never try to do it the same. I do it my way.
Your way.
Like I'm inspired by your work, and I'm letting you know, because that's another thing. A lot of people don't do credit the original creator, which is something that I'm big on. Like I like people to say, if you got the inspiration for such and such, just say it. It doesn't hurt, because that person puts a lot of work into creating something new. So if you're recreating it, just say it. Don't come up like, oh, this is your idea. But sometimes, like, this is the idea, but I gave it my touch.
Right.
Like maybe you did it green and I'm doing it pink.
Right.
It's kind of your thing, but my thing. You know.
Yeah, like your personal touch.
Yeah. So that's why I don't like necessarily like regular makeup looks to go off somebody else's, because at the end of the day, it's not gonna be the same. Now, when it comes to like creative, like transformation or whatever, which I'm still trying to learn and be better at, then yes, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to recreate this. And I'm trying to get as close as possible, so you can see how it goes.
So have you considered like filming or costume makeup, or has anyone reached out to you? For those that hasn't been on her page yet, and I was showing it to Stanley, and I was also telling Teresa that I definitely 100% admire her work in terms of makeup, right? But there's so many people who can do makeup, right? There's a lot of people who are talented that just naturally knows how to do makeup. However, what for me makes her special, or her page special, is the fact that the transformations, the ones that you said that you love, and her and I were speaking, and you know, she did mention a few other people that had as well inspired her, and it is like amazing. You know, it's just amazing. You know, and then you would see it in films, like how people would, let's say, in I don't know, like not Avengers, like in X-Men. What's her name? The one was she all blue?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
you know
about.
what I'm talking about? I forgot. Mystique. So that's something that's like, when I see you, like one point she was Ursula from Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, and I was amazed, because I know that you haven't gone to training school, right? You haven't taken a curriculum, and it's just something that she saw and you just learned. So to me, I'm in awe by that. So I mean, bravo to you for learning that, just practicing. But I'm curious, like, has anyone or people DM'd you or messaged you saying, hey, you know, we're gonna do a film, or this is what I would love for you to come and join us and be the makeup artist for it?
There are what has happened is, let's say, people want to do their music videos or whatever, they want a makeup artist, then yes, like small sessions like that.
Okay.
Because, and it's like what I'm telling you, sometimes you don't have the confidence enough when you see people like the ones that I show you, and you're like, I don't know if I could do it, you know, because I've done it on myself. It's very different when you're working. When I have the time to do, let's say, a transformation in 3 to 4 hours, and they tell you, okay, you're gonna do that on a face that you don't know in an hour, and then you don't know if you're gonna fit the part. So sometimes you have to take that risk.
Yeah, 100%.
And you have to do it, and I have to work on that.
Okay.
Because sometimes you don't have faith in yourself.
Do you challenge yourself?
I do challenge, but that's why I love the artistic makeup that I do, because it's a challenge for me. Sometimes because regular makeup is just like, it's the same, just different color. You know, say for whatever it is that you do, is the same, different colors. Now, when it comes to artistic makeup, and you have to, like, if there's gonna be a line over here, it has to be straight or whatever. It requires patience. It requires that pause. So that's the challenge for me, to make sure that my work is 100%. Like, I'm a perfectionist on that, and I have to work on not being that crazy when it goes to the stuff that I want to do. Because if I don't have everything that I need, then I don't do it.
Right.
And then my sister's like, no, just do it, and
Work
whatever
with what you have.
else it's gonna come up. I'm like, no. So I guess I have to challenge myself as, okay, if an opportunity comes like that, I'm gonna say yes, regardless whether I feel like I can't do it or not. Because that first time that I was talking to you about, when they called me to do the Halloween makeup for a whole restaurant team, I had no idea that I could do Halloween makeup. That was my first year me trying that. And now you want me here. I'm like, are you sure you want me? Because I don't know. And they all loved it.
Right.
And I'm like, so it's my first time and you guys loved it? Okay. So I'm
Price is going up.
Price
is going up.
Price just went up.
So, and every year it's like on that Halloween, people are like, let me book you with time. And I don't necessarily like to work on Halloween on other people, because it's a whole it's a lot. I'd rather work with brands. Unless there's like a personality
Right.
that wants to work with you, then it's like, okay, I will take you.
Right.
But different people, like, okay, I'm gonna do 5 different looks for Halloween. I don't know. You're just gonna kill yourself for a couple hundred. I don't like it, because if I have to rush my job and then it doesn't look as good as I want it, just because I have X amount of limited time or whatever, it makes me feel bad. So I'd rather not do it.
Right.
So for Halloween, I mostly just do my friends when we go out. Actually, we went out, and my friend won. We made the whole outfit in my house. And for this Halloween, in mine, I got 3rd place, and he got 1st place.
Nice.
So I'm like, so basically, I won 1st place and 3rd place. Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah. No, that's cool. Let me ask you this: do you use all the brand? Do you use the makeup from the brands that come in and reach out to you, or do you use, like, when do you go out? Do you buy your own specific brands, or you just use the ones that they give you?
No,
And if you do go out to buy your own, where do you go?
well, it depends, because right now it's not that I need anything. Like, I went and I got every color you can think of, because like I said in the beginning, I don't know if it was recorded, I'm a hoarder,
Yes.
So you name it, I have it.
Okay.
And I do receive products from small businesses or people that are starting now, and then they send me their products, and I try to use it, because if I'm using per se an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, why not use someone that is starting right now and the product is just as good or maybe better? So I try to mix it. Sometimes I don't have like specific one all the time.
Okay.
I mix and match or whatever. But I'm trying now, since all this is happening, I am trying now to use stuff that small businesses have sent me, because I understand how much this whole pandemic has hurt small businesses.
I
So
like that.
so that's like my kind of way to help now. Try to showcase this stuff. Like, before, I'll be like, okay, no, I only had a contract with you for whatever this. And now it's like, okay, you have this hair growth oil, fine, send it to me. Like I could say, I'm gonna use this if you guys are interested, da da da. Because I understand a lot of small businesses are hurting, and the big brands, Walmart, whatever, are getting richer. It's like, no, hold on, let me do my part now.
Right.
So on my makeup or whatever, I am trying to use at least one or two things that I like that are small businesses.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that. Let's clap for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this been amazing, Teresa, and I don't know, where can they reach you if somebody wanted to?
Of course, honey, you can reach me at Stirvaxbeauty, and that'll be me, honey, 100%.
I'll have the description below if she got too sassy for you. I'll have all information, but you definitely got to check it out. The page is awesome, like beyond just the look and the style. Everything was just like amazing, and we were going through it when Nilly showed me the other page, and I was like, wow. Like,
She has great content.
yeah, great, amazing content, amazing look. It's Teresa's been Teresa.
100%.
Some things don't change. Yeah.
Oh my God,
That's what makes you you.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
makes her.
you an
Yeah,
influencer.
that makes her.
You have to have your personality. And your
1000%.
personality.
I thought I've changed, but I guess not. Okay, I'll take it.
Allegedly. That was quick.
I'll take it.
But this been amazing, Teresa DeLeon, everyone, and I just want to say, from us, it starts now. It's been a pleasure. We had a great time.
I enjoyed it too. Oh my God, thank you for having me.
Oh, you guys missed it earlier before we started recording. It was hilarious. Hopefully, if I get those bloopers, I'll try to throw them in. But thank you, everyone, and appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.